tonight. Governor Adeleke promises to forge ahead on programs to enhance people's welfare in Osun. Federal government says tax reform bills will guarantee fairness, equity, and justice. Bank workers blame CBN over worsening cash shortage. And coming from the foreign scene, Syria rebel forces to shut prisons and dissolve the country's security forces. Good evening, and I welcome you to our major report tonight. I am Kayode Adebayo. Osun State Governor Senator Adeleke has said his government will not relent in creating facilities to ease and enhance the economic and social life of the people of the state. Governor Adeleke stated this during the commissioning of Cooperative College Odiomo and Otanyo Graduate Intercity Road Project in Boluwaduro local government area of the state as part of the activities marking its second anniversary in office. Governor's office correspondent Oluwatobiloba has the details.
Dancing and singing among the people of Osun Gbaju and Iresi in Boluwaduro local government area of Osun Central, Governor Adeleke commissioned the 7.5-kilometer Osun Gbaju Iresi Intercity Road, breaking a 44 years genes of abandonment. The governor, who at the earlier commissioned the Cooperative College Odiomo in Osun West, a project which has been abandoned for 12 years, also received at Ilesha, Osun East top leaders of the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW), led by Chief Lekon Salami, into the People's Democratic Party (PDP). In a day of circular movement from around the 3 senatorial districts in the state, Governor Adeleke Atodiomo said Osun's soft and hard infrastructure are his administration's focus, while at Ilesha, the governor will welcome the defectors with open arms, said his administration is committed to equitable development of all parts of the state.
This platform helps to build many local businesses and support the artisans and market men and women. It was in realization of the importance of the cooperative movement that our administration has injected 1 billion naira revolving loan into the cooperative movement. 500 million naira was extended to the conventional cooperatives under the Federation of Osun State Cooperative Limited. Another 500 million naira was disbursed to 370 world-based cooperative society. As of today, a total of 146 cooperative societies have benefited from the loan, while we have recorded 18,000 individual beneficiaries from the world-based cooperatives.
Accompanied by top government functionaries and party officials, including Yeyelu Amotukwe Adeleke Soni and Honorable Sunday Bisi, Governor Adeleke said his team is pushing ahead with all-round development of Osun State despite attempted blackmail by the opposition, which is promoting ethnic division among the people. Speaking to the jubilant crowd at Osun Gbaju, Governor Adeleke highlighted the importance of the 7.5-kilometer road project, which includes 3 kilometers of Iresi Township roads and the 4.5-kilometer stretch connecting Osun Gbaju and Iresi, saying his administration has delivered on its promises to ensure productive connectivity among the people. Highlights of the ceremonies were the commissioning of Cooperative College Odiomo named Isiaka Adetunji Adeleke Cooperative College Odiomo and the commissioning of the Osun Gbaju Iresi Intercity Road, among others. It has been Oluwatobiloba Odunuga reporting.
Osun State House of Assembly has entertained the defense of its proposed budget estimate for 2025, marking the conclusion of the defense of the proposed estimates by ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosin Oladokun has the details.
House of Assembly rounded up the consideration of the State Appropriation Bill for the year 2025 budget defense exercise, with budget talk presenting the indices of its workability and realism. The Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development, Professor Maruf Adeleke, held that prior to the official laying of the 2025 budget before the House, Ministry under his purview had worked at medium-term expenditure model. According to him, to ensure the optimal performance of the 2025 budget, sectorial agencies had appeared before his ministry, where areas that ought to be prioritized were comprehensively captured. Professor Adeleke emphasized the need to explore IGR to fund the 2025 appropriation bill, noting that at the treasury meeting, they realizes that the state's IGR profile will play a critical role in achieving the components in the 2025 budget.
After the expenditure framework has been done and the figures have been gotten, sectors were made to know their sectoral allocation. And so they now were asked to go and work based on the sectoral allocation that they have. And what that means is that agencies that make up a sector will go and discuss the fund that is available for their sector, and based on their priorities, within them, allocate what's available to the different agencies that make up a particular sector.
Earlier, the Chairman House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Olumide Fatamisi, stated that the 2025 budget is achievable, saying Governor Adeleke draft estimates for the next fiscal year had adequately captured infrastructure, education, health, agriculture, and the new minimum wage, among others. He reiterated the readiness of the state parliament to ensure that the state appropriation bill is monitored through the oversight function.
If you monitor closely our internally generated revenue compared to that of 2023, you can see a significant changes is there. And we have also put in place some other mechanisms to aid and assist us in upgrading internally generated revenue.
While presenting the Osun State House Assembly budget, Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Adeleke, flanked by the Clerk of the House, Mr. Akinwale Osun, appreciated Governor Adeleke for prioritizing the legislative arm of government's welfare. Also, Osun State House Assembly Service Commission, through its chairman, Honorable Adekunle presented the commission's budgets. Their peer ministries were Ministry of Finance, Osun Internal Revenue Service, Osun Debt Office, Office of the Accountant General, Public Procurement, Osun Tourism Board, Osun State House Assembly Service Commission, Osun State House of Assembly, Bureau of Statistics, Ministry of Economic Planning, Budget and Development. The exercise had in attendance the Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Akinyode Iwusi, and Honorable Sikiru Badepade, Babajide Koforola, Folorunso Ogundare, Bandele Lawal, Abiola Awuyeye, Tajudeen Adeyemi, Taofik Olaiwola, Wale Akerele, Femi Okuola, Adeshina Rabiu, among others. Oluwatosin Oladokun, OSBC News.
The federal government has said the controversial tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly were to ensure fairness, equity, and justice for Nigerians. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Malam Lanre Isaonilu, who stated this at an event in Nasaba, Delta State, said the bills were designed to scrap the over 50 nuisance taxes suffered by local businesses. This came on a day the civil society organizations led by the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center called on the federal government to build a fair and inclusive tax system that reflects alignment of fiscal policies with equity and economic stabilization. Mr. Onilu noted that the reforms were designed to ease the burden on hardworking Nigerians while ensuring that everyone contributed fairly, as VAT will no longer be calculated based on where companies have their headquarters but where the goods are consumed. Represented by the Director General Services in NOAA, Mrs. Rebecca Nasamo, he explained that the tax reform bills are 4 different bills that seek to bring everything about taxation and administration of tax in Nigeria under 4 different pieces of legislation. The Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee and the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission are locked in a dispute over the constitutional rights to administer and allocate value-added tax revenues in the country. Reports indicate that while both entities support the need for tax reforms, their positions differ sharply on the constitutional interpretation and implications for revenue sharing. In a memo to the National Assembly, the Commission emphasized its constitutional mandate to determine revenue sharing formula and cautioned against any arbitrary changes that could disrupt the VAT allocation system. It further argued that VAT as a consumption tax must be distributed in a way that supports less economically developed states to ensure national cohesion and stability. In contrast, Chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, contended that VAT predated the 1999 Constitution and was fundamentally a state tax. He argued that VAT's design as a consumption tax means its administration and allocation should reflect its nature, adding that the existing system, which allocated 85% of VAT revenue to state and local governments, already reinforced its classification as a state tax. Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris has said that funds saved from the stoppage of subsidy payments are being used to execute high-impact projects and schemes by the Tinubu administration. He spoke at the 2024 annual conference of the International Press Institute with the theme Democracy, Media Freedom and Imperative of Protecting the Nigerian Civic Space in Abuja. The projects and schemes, according to Idris, are student loans, physical and digital infrastructure, low-cost consumer credit, agricultural production, and targeted social investment. He shed light on the proposed tax reforms, media freedom and protection of Nigeria's civic space, energy transition, and the judiciary being championed by President Bola Tinubu, insisting that Nigeria is on the verge of fundamental economic reform anchored on the renewed hope agenda. Idris explained that the tax reform initiative was envisioned to simplify Nigeria's existing tax regimes and make compliance easier, while also reducing tax burden on most vulnerable Nigerians. The Chief Executive Officer of Bamanga Jada Oil and Gas Free Zone Authorities Liberty says President Bola Tinubu's initiative on an alternative energy source has attracted over $1 billion in direct foreign investment to the country in the last 17 months. Jada disclosed this at a sensitization program on CNG infrastructural development at the Oil and Gas Free Zones in Port Harcourt. This was just as key stakeholders in the transportation, environmental, and oil and gas sectors have said the compressed natural gas initiative of President Tinubu is one of the major drivers of industrialization. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said the initiative remained one of the bold reforms of the president. The sensitization, tagged Driving Sustainable Transportation, Accelerating CNG Adoption, was organized by Portland Gas in collaboration with the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority. The Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions has attributed the worsening cash shortage across the country to the Central Bank of Nigeria's inability to meet the cash demands of commercial banks. Speaking with newsmen, ASBP President Olusoji Oluwole highlighted the dire impact of the scarcity, particularly as the festive season approaches, with increased demand for cash for shopping and business transactions. He noted that the Apex Bank has failed to meet the cash demands of banks, while retailers profit by selling cash instead of depositing it back into the banking system. Oluwole, who maintained that banks are not in a position to force retailers to bring the cash to banks, explained how the dynamic exacerbates the scarcity of cash in automated teller machines and across bank counters. While stressing the importance of CBN providing clear statistics on cash circulation to improve distribution efficiency, he advocated for a shift towards less dependency on cash, emphasizing that a cashless economy is cheaper, safer, and more efficient in the country. Wholesale gas producing companies have abruptly stopped the supply of natural gas to power generation companies for electricity production over the non-payment of debts accrued from previous supplies. The Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Dr. Joy Ogaji, disclosed the latest developments in an interview with newsmen, stressing that the gas producing companies have formally notified all gencos of the suspension of natural gas supply. The gas supply was abruptly halted after the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority reported natural gas to injected gencos until further notice, citing the escalating debts. The situation has led to a nationwide electricity blackout, severely impacting power generation across the country. Earlier this year, Minister of Power Adeleke disclosed that the federal government will start offsetting part of the debts it owes power generating companies and gas suppliers from April this year. The Vice Chancellor, University of Ilesha, Professor Taiwo Ashaolu, has reiterated the commitment of the Ivory Tower towards fostering an environment for academic excellence, innovation, and personal growth needed by students to succeed in an ever-changing world. Professor Ashaolu stated this at the second matriculation ceremony of the institution, marking the commencement of the 2024-25 academic session. Oluchi Amuda completes the summary.
I've never been a member of a secret society, and that if I have been a member, I hereby renounce the membership.
Those were the voices of the newly matriculated students of the University of Ilesha as they took the matriculation oath, where they pledged to abide by the rules and regulations of the school. The second matriculation ceremony of the undergraduates held at the multipurpose hall of the Citadel of Learning provided an avenue for the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Taiwo Ashaolu, to formally admit the over 3,000 students into the faculties of arts, basic medical sciences, computing, education, law, medical laboratory sciences, nursing sciences, social and management sciences, among others. In his address after admitting the students, Professor Ashaolu, who congratulated them and their parents, noted that the university has provided facilities to enhance teaching and learning in a conducive environment. He urged the students to be good ambassadors of the school as they embark on the journey that will lead to the realization of their dreams and aspirations in life, which would ultimately propel them to a better future. Professor Ashaolu maintained that UNILESHA remains committed to fostering an environment of academic excellence, innovation, and personal growth needed for students to succeed in the highly competitive global space.
Our university has started on a good foundation, and as such, no form of inappropriate behavior will be tolerated from any student by the university. Such unacceptable behaviors include cultism, bullying, hooliganism, harassment, brigandage, and other forms of indiscipline. As freshly admitted students, I would like to give you all the benefit of the doubt that you will abide by the rules and regulations of the university. I charge you to show full commitment to your studies and justify your selection and offer of admission into the university to study and become better persons in life.
The matriculation ceremony climaxed with the signing of the matriculation register by the students. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Journalists have been urged to uphold the ethics of their profession and try to pursue excellence in their chosen career, as they are the mirror of the society whose lifestyle is expected to be exemplary. A university don, Professor Wasiu Oyedokun, gave the admonition at the Osun NUJ 2024 induction into Hall of Fame in Osun. Anjola Agbola has the report.
NUJ 2024 induction into Hall of Fame was graced by dignitaries from far and near, including CEO of Wave FM, Dr. Femi Adefila, the Royal Father of the Day, Alagbeda of Agbeda Ijesha, Oba Adesoji Adeniyi, the Permanent Secretary and Director General OSBC, Mrs. Jola Adegbarola, among others. In his remarks, the Royal Father of the Day, Oba Adesoji Adeniyi, described the program as a landmark and encouraged everyone to continually fulfill their duties as journalists and problem solvers with the information they pass to people. In a lecture titled Nigeria Economy, Insecurity, Democracy and the Way Out, the speaker, Professor Wasiu Oyedokun, admonished Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of hard work in their endeavors, as it is one of the ways to eradicate the problem of insecurity, which is poverty, adding that parents should constantly curb their young ones from engaging in evil and illegal deals. He noted that agricultural practices should be more encouraged in the western region of the country, and also employment opportunities should be provided for youth across the nation. Professor Oyedokun also spoke on the importance of democracy and democratic governance, as no one should be above the law, equal rights for everyone, and citizens should be able to vote freely for people of their choice.
Be passionate about your job. Create your world around your job and ensure that you give the best to your job. Everything has a profit. Even if you don't have monetary gain, the future will tell.
The chairman of the occasion, Dr. Femi Adefila, in his remarks, said that journalists are watchdog of the society. Therefore, they should always give their best at their various fields, adding that the inductees are worthy to be awarded and inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And I want to congratulate NUJ for being steadfast in making contributions to the development of the society and fulfilling our role in the society as watchdog, as the conscience of the nation. Because as conscience of the nation, it is our duty to continue to prick the conscience of those who are in positions of responsibilities. You can prick their conscience by calling their attention to what they have not done well. You can also prick their conscience by calling their attention to those who have done well, by awarding them and celebrating them.
The inductees are Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Oluomokolapo Halimi, Head of Service in Osun State, Elder Samuel Aino, Olororuwo of Ororuwo, Oba Kamorudin Adeyanju, General Manager Osun CSDA, Mrs. Funmi Abokede, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Olufemi Ogundu. Chief Oluremi Oyeyemi was also given an award. The event climaxed with the unveiling of the awards in the Hall of Fame of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Osun State Chapter, by the Chairman, Comrade Wasiu Ajadosu. Angela Agbola, OSBC News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has warned criminal elements to pack out of the country, emphasizing that the Nigerian Army under his leadership was coming with full force. Oluyede said this while addressing the troops of the 1st Division Nigerian Army in Kaduna when he paid a maiden operational visit, warning that the adversaries should be ready to face a more serious and formidable Nigerian Army. The Chief of Army Staff disclosed that he already signed his command philosophy, which was hinged on leadership, sound administration, and professionalism, making it clear that soldiers will be his first priority in every area. He vowed to enhance the welfare of troops in terms of accommodation, kitting, and training to enable them to give their best to the cause of ridding the country of criminals. You are welcome to our sports segment. Players and officials of Nigeria's under-15 boys, fondly called Future Eagles, have arrived in Casablanca, Morocco, where the team is scheduled to face their Moroccan counterparts in 2 international friendly games. And Okechukwu has the details and more from the sports desk.
It will be the team's first international experience since the inception of the FIFA Talent Development Scheme in the country. The delegation of 22 players, including Beden Insurance Under-15 captain Dominion Osage and 6 officials, with Coach Patrick Bassi as the head of the coaching crew, arrived in Casablanca today. They will be involved in 2 friendly matches scheduled for the complex Mohammed VD football on the 12th and 15th of this month, while the kickoff time is 5 p.m. local time on both days. Shortly before departure, head of delegation Nasiru Jibrin said playing Morocco is a deliberate plan and a pragmatic way of equipping the young, talented players discovered in the country through the FIFA's Talent Development Scheme. He noted that exposing the players to the best facilities and playing internationally will further shape the country's preparations for annual AFCON Under-17 and annual FIFA Under-17 tournaments respectively. According to him, Morocco is the place where they have the most access in terms of an organized place to go and people who already have the same kind of project running in their country. In another development, Nigeria's long jump star SN Brumi has set her sights on winning gold at the 2025 World Athletics Champions in Tokyo, Japan, as she becomes the first recipient of the National Football Commission's Adopt an Athlete Training Grant Initiative. Director General of the NCS, Bukola Olawale, revealed that Brume, who holds the African record in the women's long jump at 7.17 meters, expressed her determination to claim the gold medal despite recently surviving a car accident. Brume has showed steady progress on the global stage, winning bronze in 2019 and silver in 2022 World Championship. Her inclusion as the first beneficiary of the NSC Adopt an Athlete initiative further underscores her importance to Nigerian athletics. And Okechukwu reporting for OSBC.
And coming from the foreign scene, Syrian rebel forces have said they plan to close the notoriously harsh prisons run by ousted President Bashar al-Assad and hunt those involved in the killing or torture of detainees. The rebel leader Ahmed al-Shara, in a statement, also said he would dissolve the security forces of the former regime. The report says thousands of prisoners were freed from Sidnaya prison, referred to as a human slaughterhouse by right groups after the collapse of the Assad government. UK-based monitoring group Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said almost 60,000 people were tortured and killed in the prisons run by Assad. In a separate statement, al-Shara said pardons for those who took part in the torture or killing of prisoners were out of the question. He also said he would dissolve the former Assad regime's security forces, but he did not say how quickly they could be reconstituted by rebel fighters amid concern about Israeli strikes on the country's military infrastructure. And that ends the major report on OSBC TV. I am Kayode Adebayo. Thank you for watching and good night.